Oh, Ricky, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Rickey Henderson, the GOAT. He is my baseball GOAT. Check on all of those things, if you will. I'd appreciate it. He is my baseball GOAT, always has been, ever since I pulled this rookie card back in 1980. Me and my pals rode our bikes on down to the Swanson's Dairy in Portage, Indiana. Each bought a pack or two of cards, ripped that thing open, and I hit the Rickey Henderson. He was already on my radar from watching This Week in Baseball with Mel Allen. Because back in the day, I had the Cubbies. I was fortunate enough to have the Cubbies as my favorite team, and WGN played all of their games. But rarely did we ever get to see anybody else except on a great little show called This Week in Baseball. And Rickey Henderson, in 1979, he made a nice splash in the league. So as I've been contemplating the hobby, thinking about my set building, daydreaming about the cards, fantasizing about ripping packs open and hitting Rickey one-of-ones, I thought, you know what? I'm going to be a Rickey Henderson super collector because he's that much of a sweetheart to me. So I wanted to start by counting how many current Rickey Henderson cards I have, because I do not have that many. And almost all of these that you see right here, almost all of them were gifted to me by my friends in cards from around the country. Friends that have participated in card breaks with me. Friends that listen to the podcast, the Baseball Card Podcast. Here's one of my favorites. This is from my friend Tim. Tim in New York gave me this beautiful card. I absolutely love it. So let's count up the cards real quick and see where we stand. There's number 1. That's the OG. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I love this card. Love this one. 9. You gonna just say that about all of them, Bart? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So I'm beginning with 16 Rickey Henderson cards, and my goal is to get to 1,406 unique Rickey Henderson cards, so no doubles in that number. So 1,406, that's the goal. If you know Rickey, if you know baseball, if you know records, you know why that number is the number that I chose. But when I first got back into the hobby, I won an auction, a local auction, Craft Auctions here in Valparaiso. I won a handful of boxes, what is supposed to be complete sets. Here is one of them, and this is a 1981 Flair baseball. I looked it up, and there's supposed to be 2 Rickey Hendersons in here, but it is a 660 card set, and I see somebody hand wrote on there 654, so that makes me a little nervous. Please tell me you didn't pull the Rickey Hendersons out of here. I have not looked at these cards. I have not even opened them. Since I won the auction, because I was going to put these in binders at some point, and I will do that, but I thought to add to my very meager collection, 16 total cards there, on my way to 1406, I thought, hey, why not look through these, because it'll bring back a lot of fond memories. My favorite baseball was played in the 70s and 80s. Look through these cards. Obviously, they got a little bend to them, but they look good. I mean, they look great, aside from that boomerang bend. So if that's the case, and there are 654 cards in here, so that means 6 cards are missing. Please don't be the Rickeys. But according to the checklist, there should be 2 Rickey Henderson cards here, stolen base leaders and then the base cards. So let's look for those Rickeys right here and right now with our boomerang action cards. There's Jesse Jefferson, Danny Darwin. I know your theory Dennis Worth. Cecil Cooper. I liked Cecil Cooper back in the day. The Brewers were one of my teams. Cubs have always been my team, but I've liked many, many other teams and players along the way. I liked Cecil Cooper a lot. Dave Stieb. Very underrated. He was a great pitcher. There's old Doc, Fred, Timmy, Bob Baylor, Ferguson Jenkins. Hello. Former Cub. Look at that. They're in great condition if they weren't so. They didn't have such a curvature of the spine right there. There's Ferguson Jenkins, Jason Thompson, Dave Stapleton, Dell Unser, John Matlock, Jim Fergosi, manager. Dwight Evans, he was really good. Jack Morris, we know he was good. Bobby Grich, oh yes, look at that stash. Bobby Grich with the sweet stash. Career average 265 at this point. From Muskegon, Michigan. I've been to Muskegon. There's Dennis Eckersley. Look at that. Smile for the camera, Dennis. I will not. Became one of the greatest closers of all time, Dennis Eckersley. Rick Peters. Look at that in action. I like that. Old Tim McCarver. He had a great career, didn't he? The old San Diego Padres. Tom Seaver. Yes, indeed. Look at those hats. You remember those hats with the Pirates? Loved those. We Are Family. That's one of my cubbies. Oh, yes. Raleigh Fingers. Remember the old Rolaids commercials with Raleigh Fingers? Because that's how you spell relief. Rolaids. Raleigh became basically the very first official closer of all time, or in baseball history. Happy to be there. Don Robinson. Lynn McLaughlin. I remember him with the Cubbies. Look at that. That's like the same pose. There's Pepe. Kenta Colby. Oh, these cards do bring back a lot of fond memories. Whew, I'm just sighing in nostalgia. We used to all do the old submarine pitch in the wiffle ball league. Kenta Colby, we'd yell out. Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. And this is actually an error card, and you can probably catch that error right away. Fernando Valenzuela. With the error card there, you could see they didn't finish the spelling of his name. Hey, where's the O? My name's Fernando. Jerry Martin, yep, I remember him. Joaquin Andujar, yes, indeed. Greg Gross. Bert Blyleven, look at that. That's when baseball players didn't look anywhere near athletes. Cesar Cedeno did, though. Oh, yeah. Where's that Ricky, Bart? You going to find him? I don't know. We got a lot of cards here. Hope you're patient. Hope that you can stick with me. Appreciate you watching the videos. If you can give it the old, click the like button, give it the old thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed. Leave me at Bake McBride. Oh, yes. I loved Bake McBride. In fact, we used to wear batting helmets, like little, they looked just like that, plastic batting helmets, when we played wiffle ball of our favorite teams and stuff. And what I'd do is I'd crank a double up against the shed, and I'd round first, and I'd intentionally knock my helmet off, like old Bake McBride, when his helmet would spring off and that fro would just explode out of there. Bake McBride, Claudel Washington. But please make sure you are a subscriber. Subscribe to the old channel. Hit the notification bell. Leave me a comment. Joe Torre. Head on over to wherever you might find those podcasts, on the iTunes, Spotify, or just yell, "Hey, Alexa, play the Baseball Card Podcast." I got to say that I can't be too loud with that because my Alexa will start playing it. Don Hood, Terry Crowley, Frank Taveras, Elias Sosa, George Hendrick, Mario Mendoza. Look at that, Reggie Jackson. Okay. Gotta love the Reggie Jackson. Carlton Fisk, yes, sir. Man, talk about, look at that. Enrique Romo. That's Tony's dad. He's got some sweet hair. That's not Tony's dad. Lance Parrish, yes, indeed. Orlando Gonzalez. Look at those uniforms. Remember those with the socks? They were terrible. Tommy Hutton. Oh, yeah, the bird. Mark Fidrich. We used to act like him, too. We talked to the ball. Look at Mitchell Page. Francisco Boreas. Pete Lecoq. Dan Norman. Kiko Garcia, indeed. Kevin Bell with his softball uniform on. Rupert Jones. Look at Gary Carter, the kid. It's a youngster there. Gary Carter. One of the greatest of all time to do it at that position, right? Henry Cox. Look at Ted Simmons. Another great catcher. Floyd Bannister. He could play. Remember the old Mariners trident? It's going to take forever, Bart. We're going to be fine. Hector Cruz. John Vukovic. Dave Collins. Jerry Mumphrey. John Candelaria. Look at Phil Necro. He was like 80. He wasn't. He's probably in his 30s there. Just looks like he's in his 50s, throwing the old knuckleball at you. Try to hit it. Bet you can't. Bruce Bochy, you know him. Gary Templeton, I liked him a lot. Joe Nolan. Look at that helmet. Oh yeah, Roland Office. He had a sweet fro also. Where you at, Ricky? Please don't be... There's Steve Garvey. I remember I had some of my baseball cards. I want to say it was the 77s, 1977. I had like all my favorite players, and I rubber cemented them to the wall. Like a whole group of them all lined up, like by position. Had Steve Garvey up there at first base, and rubber cemented them to the wall. It's a good idea, Bart. Lou Piniella, Roy Smalley. Yes, indeed. Rudy May, Bombo, Ron Oyster. Hey, there's a double. Gotta be Ricky in here. All these cards. Darrell Evans, Glenn Hubbard. He was good. I liked him a lot. Jose Cruz, indeed. Jose Cruz had a nice career. Mickey Hatcher. These are nice looking cards. 1981 Flair. Bump Wills. Wally Backman. How about that? Wolfman Jack. Hey, that's not Wolfman Jack, Bart. Don't confuse me. Joe Morgan. Yes, I loved Joe Morgan. That's when he moved on from the Reds. I used to crank the old elbow when I was up at bat like Joe Morgan. One of my favorite second basemen, but he'll never be my favorite second baseman, will he? Who do you think that is? Alan Trammell. Remember Sweet Lou and Alan Trammell? Double play combo. Yeah, a lot of fond memories watching the baseball, playing wiffle ball, playing tennis ball. We used to use our aluminum bats with the tennis ball. We'd play 500 and we'd play games with the tennis ball. We had the three different leagues going. Rick Dempsey. In our backyard was the wiffle ball field. In the Taylor's backyard, the Taylor brothers, was the tennis ball field because they had a bigger backyard. And then we'd play hardball down at the elementary school, which was right down the road from me. Bobby Brown. 'Cause everybody's talking all this stuff about me. It's my prerogative. Willie Randolph, indeed. Bob Davis. Look at George Foster. Look what it says for him. Slugger. I haven't noticed anything like that on any of the other cards. Slugger. That is 100% right. That one has a little dinged up corner, though. All the rest, aside from the curvature of the spine there, all the rest have been in pretty good shape. Hal Cowens. Carney Lansford. Yeah. Manny Mota. Hello. Still looking for you, Ricky. Where you hiding, Gorman Thomas? Can't just put them all there in the sweet pile, Bart. I've put as many as I want. Bucky Dent. What would the Red Sox fans say? Don't say it, Bart. George Vukovic. Fred Lynn. Look at that. If I was half as handsome as Fred Lynn, I'd be in the Wiffle Ball Hall of Fame. Champ Summers. Mickey Klutz. Indeed. I'm getting nervous, though. Dickie Knowles. I'm getting nervous. There's 2 cards on this checklist with Ricky's name on it. We are currently at card 0. Barry Foote. My brother still referenced Barry Foote. He's got to go here. Manny Trio. Yes, sir. Manny Trio. Woody Fryman. Jack Clark. How about that? Willie Wilson. Yes, indeed. Come on, Bart. You only have 16 Rickies. We got to add to it if you're going to get to Mike Cubbage. If we're going to get to 1406, 1004. Jim Palmer. One of the greatest of all time. Probably the best pitcher of the decade of the 1970s, if you look at the stats. In fact, that's one of the many things that I've been thinking about are the different players, the bests of the decades, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. That's going to be some podcast up. Greg Luzinski, look at that. That was a player. Rick Russell. Remember Rick and Paul Russell? I do. I know I do. Jeff Reardon. Yes. Lonnie Smith. Steve Dillard. Phil Garner. He was good. Golden Glove. Look what they put there for Doug DeCinza. Gary Maddox. I liked Gary Maddox. Tim Blackwell. Randy Jones. Hey, Ricky. Still looking. Still looking for you. Ray Knight, indeed. Craig Nettles. Okay. I liked the Expos back in the day, too. Bert Hooton. Hello. Ron Jackson. Come on, Ricky. I know you're in here. Gaylord Perry. Okay. Julio Gonzalez. Jerry Kuzman. He'll go there. Okay, Ron Davis. Looks like he's never picked up a bat in his life. Most hits. Willie Wilson. Tommy John. You know the surgery. That's who it was named after. Sixto Lizcano. Lloyd Mosby. Come on. This set is stacked. Ben Ogilvy. John Mayberry. Rusty Staub. My buddy Danny Walters, who lived directly behind me, he loved Rusty Staub. And none of us really had any money, so we would make our own jerseys out of, remember the just plain white t-shirts? Get the old markers out. Bill Matlock. He was a Cub and won the batting title with the Cubs, I want to say. 354, that had to have been the year. When you bat 354, you're pretty much going to win the batting title. Bill Matlock, I loved him too. Cubs didn't have him very long, though. But we would make our own favorite play. Bert Campaneris. Make our own. Did I put Rusty Staub over here? No, Bill Matlock's got to go in this pile, Bart. Make our own jerseys out of t-shirts and markers. Frank Tanana. Scott Sanderson. Don Baylor. Yes, sir. Lee May. Ross Grimsley. Lou Whitaker. Sweet Lou Whitaker. I loved Sweet Lou. Him and Alan Trammell. Earl Weaver. They were fun. He was a fun guy to watch get thrown out of games. But Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker, they were together as a 6'4" combo forever. Forever, it seemed like. Rick Burleson. Put him. Check some of these guys' stats soon. Tony Perez. Loved him, especially with the Reds. Bob Boone. Tug McGraw. You know who that is. You know whose dad that is, right? That's Tim McGraw's dad, believe it or not. Willie McCovey. Holy moly. Look at that. Look how tiny that print is. Talk about a career. Willie McCovey. Man, I'm like getting the chills. I'm getting the chills going through these cards. Keith Moreland. He was a former Cub. Wasn't on the Cubs yet, though, at this point. Keith Moreland. Montefusco. Willie Montañez. Ennis Campbell. Sparky Lyle. Remember Sparky Lyle? Uh-oh. Well, look, here's what we got. I gotta run though, real fast. I'm gonna have to come back. We still have a bunch of cards to go, but there is somebody at the door, and I'm expecting the kitchen contractor to be here, so I can't miss that. Otherwise, Lady Cooks a lot will yell at me. So I'm gonna sign off for now. I'll come right back to part 2 of the 1981 Fleer baseball set. Looking for the Rickies. Oh, Ricky, you're so fine. Thanks so much for watching. Check it out. Do these things, and I'll see you in the next video.